Good day to you, one and all. It is I, Justin Hawkins, and this is Justin Hawkins Rides Again. I'm so excited. Megadeth have released a song on the 22nd of July, and I get to react to it. Just going to read you a little bit about the song itself. It's called Night Stalkers, Chapter 2, featuring Ice-T. The track, which features a guest appearance by the rapper Ice-T, is taken from the band's 16th studio album. Somebody just emailed me, sorry about that. From the band's 16th studio album, The Sick, The Dying, and The Dead. No, there's no chuckle on and The Dead, but there is an exclamation mark, so it's probably something like this. The Sick, The Dying, and The Dead! Created by Megadeth leader Dave Mustaine, Night Stalkers Chapter 2 is the next episode in the multi-chapter saga about the origin of the Megadeth mascot, Vic Rattlehead. It's got like what looks like those pear-shaped sort of shower curtain things holding his lips together. And he's got like some aviators that, instead of having glass, there's metal and they're bolted into his head. It looks terrifying. And instead of like hair, he has chains. So, I mean, it couldn't really be any scarier, could he? But I suppose now we're going to find out how he came to be. I didn't see the first instalment of this, unfortunately, so I'm coming in, not the true origins of the character, but perhaps, you know, his first big adventure. Justin Hawkins rides again. So, Dave Mustaine commented, I had my buddy Ice-T join me on a part in the middle of it, because Ice was a ranger for the army and he did 2 tours over in Afghanistan. Nothing whatsoever to do with his credentials as a rapper, just his military achievements. Megadeth is one of the big 4 of American thrash metal, along with Metallica, Anthrax and Slayer, responsible for the genre's development and popularization. Megadeth has sold 38 million records worldwide. That's astonishing. I had no idea. Sociologist Keith Kahn Harris wrote that the mainstream success of Megadeth was one of the reasons for the expansion of extreme metal to countries where it had previously been unknown. Interesting theory. Let's watch the second chapter of the Vic Rattlehead saga and discuss the music and the genre itself, I suppose. I don't think I've ever seen a video where it says the singer from the band presents, but perhaps Dave Mustaine forked out some of his own cash to this to make it happen, so he's a producer, as it were.
Concealed in the night from the light of the moon, undetected between the heavens, the stars and the seas.
There seems to be 2 things that we need to discuss. I suppose the story of Vic Rattlehead and the music itself. I'll start with the music. Okay, it's detuned to D. Well, at least the E string is. I'm not going to try and attempt the riff, but I think I'll do an acoustic interpretation of it as we go along. I'll just try and sing that first line for you. Concealed in the night from the light of the moon, concealed in the night from the light of the moon. Now I think if indeed Ice-T was recruited because of his experience in Afghanistan, you'd have to say that some of these melody choices might be informed by that sort of geography and... You see what I mean? Concealed in the night from the light of the moon. It's full of Middle Eastern promise.
Undetected between the heavens, the stars and the sea.
Undetected between the heavens, the stars and the seas. Okay, so the heavens and the stars. So it suggests that it's like a triangulation, doesn't it? Where is it saying the stars and the seas? Heaven would actually probably be among the stars. These are considered, stars are celestial bodies, aren't they? Are they not? They're, I think people used to think that's where heaven was, especially the ancient Egyptians. But we'll get into Egyptology another time.
They seize the night when it's dark like inside a tomb.
They seize the night when it's dark like inside a tomb. Dark like inside a tomb. Yeah, that's pretty dark. Although I've never been in a tomb, so how the fuck would I know?
Flat black body armor gleams, light it up. From verdict to deliverance to retribution.
That sounded more like a harmonic minor run there. It's like, the verdict to deliverance to retribution. I'll try and do that in the folkiest way possible. From verdict to deliverance to retribution.
Of a dead man's pulse, you can hear the thunder roll. You can hear the engines roar.
I love that bit when he goes, you can hear the engines roar! And then there's loads and loads of echo on it. Perhaps my producer would like to apply a little bit to the roar I just did, or... No? Oh. Okay. Intense electric guitar solo. So there seems to be two stories happening in the video. One of them is like a military operation, and the other one is this sort of... There's something supernatural happening. It really is great guitar playing on this. I love it when it opens up like that, because then it goes to eighth notes instead of 16th, like... No, it's... And when it opens up like that, even though like there's fewer notes, it's actually way groovier.
Battle board, ready to fight. Your death waits in the dark.
So they've definitely got a personification of death there, Death, who is awaiting them in the dark. And I don't know whether he's talking about the I suppose when it's talking about Night Stalkers, I imagine that to be whatever the troop of, the military folk with their shiny black armour. Those are presumably the Night Stalkers, and they're going to come up against Vic Rattlehead. Is that what's happening here? And then, so your death waits in the dark. Perhaps he might be addressing the, the group of soldiers, or it might be. I don't think it's going to be Vic Rattlehead, because there's no way on God's green earth that he will die in this forest tonight, because it's only the second chapter of his origin story. So I'm going to suggest that it's... Now I understand. Vic Rattlehead is a personification of death itself, but unlike death, he's not much of a sickle guy. I don't know what his weapon of choice will be. I'll wait and see. But I think he's. I think he just points at people and they catch fire. That's it. So I think he's like Death, only with superpowers. Megadeth, if you will.
Yo, when you hear 4 MH47 and Black Hawk helicopters coming in.
Yo! So it's brilliant when Ice-T comes in, because the first thing he says is yo, and that's how you know there's a rap about to happen.
Shooters, locked and loaded. Game's over, bitches. Got you in my night vision. About to let this 30 mil.
There's a lot of people opening fire on poor Vic Rattlehead at one point, around about 4.5 minutes. And he will not die. He'll decide who does the dying. Oh, there's nearly an echo of an ABBA song in there. Did you hear that? Don't go wasting needing your devotion. Lay all your love on me. I'm sure it's not in any way inspired by the ABBA song, but I'm just making the point that this section here is reminiscent of that ABBA song, and therefore it's great, in my opinion. Okay, it's cool. So it goes fiddly diddly, but it's basically just a D, a detuned, so a low D bass part that's just pedaling. But you can tell, I can promise you, when the drums start, it'll do something to augment that triplet motif at the end of the second bar. There it is, fiddly diddly D. But the thing is, there's nothing wrong with it being predictable, you know. It's like I just think that it's really satisfying when the drums and the bass and the sort of the accompaniment to the riff does exactly what you expect it to do. It's like AC/DC. I always think that, if AC/DC started doing left turns and surprising people, they would become a prog band and nobody would be interested. AC/DC has to sound like AC/DC, and this sounds like Megadeth, so they're doing it right.
Hydra rockets are all locked and loaded. Laser-guided hellfire missiles are ready and armed.
I feel like Vic Rattlehead's got like flamethrower fingers. It's really dark, this thing. It's got loads and loads of violence in it. I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't recommend watching it with young children and perhaps elderly relatives. Definitely got millions of guitar solos though, so if you're into guitar solos, you're gonna love it. Because they're not all the same as well. Actually, there's a lot going on here. From the melodic to the outright ludicrous. And, of course, it's to be continued. Anyway, brilliant stuff. It's always great to see a Megadeth, isn't it? And see what they're up to. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I certainly did. Justin Hawkins rides again. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and watch one of these 2 videos. Nice one. See you on the ice, guys. Lots of love to you.